हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय राधा रास बिहारी राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरि नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा। आज मैं परम करुणा पहु दुई जना वो करने वाली हूँ। श्री श्री गौर नित्यानंद दया। परम करुणा पहु दुई जना निताई गौरचंद्र परम करुणा पहु दुई जना निताई गौरचंद्र सब अवतार तार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताई सुदृढ़ विश्वास करी भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताई सुदृढ़ विश्वास करी विषय छाड़िया तेर से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि विषय छाड़िया तेर से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाई हे मन दयाल दाता देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाई हे मन दयाल दाता पशु पाखी जुरे पाषाण विदरे सुनी जार गुण गाथा पशु पाखी जुरे पाषाण विदरे शुनिदार गुण गाथा संसारे मजिया रहिली पडिया से पदे नहीं आशा संसारे मजिया रहिली पडिया से पदे नहीं आशा आपन कर्म भुंजाए शमना कहे लोचन दास आपन कर्म भुंजाए शमना कहे लोचन दास परम करुणा बहु दुईजन निताई गौरचंद्र परम करुणा बहु दुईजन निताई गौरचंद्र सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद परमा करुणा बहु द्विजन निताई गौरचंद्र निताई गौरचंद्र निताई गौरचंद्र। श्री लोचनदास ठाकुर की जय हो। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा। ट्रांसलेशन। The two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, are very merciful. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of this incarnation is that they introduce a process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityanand with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Hare without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityanand. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and beasts cry and stones melt. But Lochanadas regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification, since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Then Yamraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai ho. Thank you, Prabhuji, for so wonderful seva. Hare Krishna.
You are mute, Prabhuji. Prabhuji not able to hear.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. We are able to hear now.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
we are
you.
able to hear.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. And thank you, Raksha Mataji. That was just appropriate for today's class. So welcome back again this weekend. So let us, before we begin, let us offer our prayers to our Guru Parampara. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Shriyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीप बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Now we offer prayers to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम पदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangapangostra Parshadam Yagna hi Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Su Medasaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Now, worshipping Sri Chaitanya, the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Nana Sastra Vicharnai Karnipunau Shadadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitkarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravind Bhajana Anandena Mattalikau Vande Rup Sanatana Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. Hare Krishna. Again, please accept my humble obeisances. All good to Shri Prabhupada. Welcome back. So before we start today's lesson number 8, let us recap lesson 7 that we covered last week. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, there is power cut. I'm in a farmhouse. So can't start a video. Let me check for torch.
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So light is out there?
Yeah. Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Yes, we are going through Prema Vivarta session. And last Sunday, we went through lesson 7. His great Charichandra Prabhuji dealt with chapter 11, 12, and 13. So chapter 1 was summarizing the illumination of Navadvipa. Chapter 12 included the glories of Vaishnavas, that is Vaishnava Mahima. Then chapter 13, it was about intense eagerness to see Sri Gaura. So chapter 11, that it included text 1 to 17. It was about Navadvip Deepika.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So this chapter 11 included text 1 to 17, and text 1 to 6. We all God sisters are together today. Yes, text 1 to 6 included the first 6 texts. It included Navdeep is not different from Vrindavan. Yes, we know in universe Earth is glorious. On Earth planet, Gauda is glorious. In amongst Gauda, Navdeep is glorious, which is 32 miles. In Navdeep, Ganges is glorious, and the connoisseur of Rasa at Mayapur, Lord shines. So text 7 to 11, it explained about the cause of Gaura's advent. So the several reasons why Gaurang Mahaprabhu appeared on this planet in the mood of Srimati Radharani. In text 12 to 15, it included the worship of Krishna through the process as demonstrated by Gaurang Mahaprabhu. That is being called as Ashtakaliya Leela or Ashtaprahar Leela, which was elaborated in much more details in question answer session by His Grace Sharad Prabhuji also. Text 16 included an acharya is not confined to the principles of Varnashram. Anyone who knows Krishna can serve as acharya. So text 17 included accepting an unauthorized fake guru is always destructive. The past and future of those who reject truth, reverse social status, and accept a false guru are ruined. So in a nutshell, it was included in chapter 11. So next, that was about Navadvip Deepika. So next, chapter 12, that were included. Obviously, it includes text 1 to 32. It talks about Vaishnava Mahima by Jagai Prabhu, which has been also called as the glories of Vaishnavas. Text 1 and 2, it was about devotion to Krishna and the holy places. It is not only that worshipping Krishna and just seeing the holy places is glorious, but seeing devotees also. It is equally fruitful, and seeing devotees, all obstacles goes away. Text 3 to 4 included what will be the result of sadhu sangha. So with the association of sadhus, Lord appears in the hearts. So text to 5 and 6 included about the neophyte devotee. The neophyte devotee cannot judge about Uttama Bhakta or Madhyam Bhakta. So text 7 and 8 talked about intermediate devotee. They can quickly become advanced devotees also. Text 9 to 10 explained about the advanced devotee. who see Jiva in Krishna and Krishna in Jiva. They do not have any attachment or any aversions with the material things. Text 11 to 12 included the advanced devotees' acceptance of material things. They do see the entire world as the manifestation of Lord's image. Text 13 to 14 included that how they have the sense control. Such advanced devotees always remember Krishna in a nutshell. So text 15, 16 explain that his activities, that means advanced devotees, are only to maintain his bodies and soul together and not for sense enjoyment. Text 17 and 18 explain about the devotees of Hari do not accept the body as the self and no I and mind in relation to body. Next, 19 to 22 explained about such advanced devotees. They are equal to all living entities. For them, everyone that is with this enemy or friend, they are equal to them. So they are always immersed in divine ecstasy. So text 23 and 24 explained about the devotees are free from the three material miseries and the heart is always remains tranquil. So text 25 to 32 explained about other symptoms of a Uttam devotee. The Lord never leaves sincere devotee's heart. Even if one involuntarily takes the Lord's name, all his desires are fulfilled. To serve the lotus feet of Lord, and all when one leaves all the material things and material duties aside, so will attain the devotion. He understands the true nature of Lord, his name, devotees, and devotion. Even if one does not understand it and still serve, will be an advanced devotee. Next, in chapter 13, it is about text 1 to 13. It explains about Shri Gaur Darshan, about Vyakulta and intense eagerness. That is Dainya Bhav. That how here Jagai Prabhu, it is been, we can see that how he's offering prayers towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He repents that why he went to Vrindavana and he missed the lotus feet of Lord. And he's praying, Lord, that I'm just crying in separation. So we can see such divine prayers in the mood, such a divine mood by author himself, and it closes with lesson 7. So today we'll go for lesson 8 by Krish Charuchandra. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nitya Sakhi Mataji. As always, you do so wonderful. I appreciate very much. Everyone, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. So we'll begin. We'll go with lesson 8 today. Tomorrow morning we'll do lesson 9, and the following morning lesson 10. So this weekend we'll do 8, 9, and 10 lessons. So let me share with you my PowerPoints. Share with my screen. Okay. So everybody is able to see my screen now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Good. So this is our class schedule and the topics, the lessons of Shri Prema Vivarta course. So as I'm showing you this yellow box, today is lesson 8. We'll be doing chapters 14 and 15. So there are two different pastimes the author describes. And remember, the author said at the very outset to the question, while answering the question to Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, that he is going to talk about different pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not necessarily in a particular chronological order, but as it occurs to him. So many a times it is out of sequence, So here also like that. So chapter 14 is about opposite Vivarta. Chapter 14 that we'll talk about first, and chapter 15 is one of the pastimes that he remembers, recalls of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of these morning pastimes, and that actually happens to be in Navadvipa Dham, okay, the Mayapur Dham, not after Mahaprabhu took sannyasa and went to Jagannath Puri. It's way before that, okay. But first, chapter 14 is about opposite Vivarta. Now, this is actually a double negative. As we know, Vivarta, what is the meaning of Vivarta? Vivarta means that what you see may not be necessarily reflect a reality. So in reality, actually what it appears when he quarrels with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all the time for some trivial reasons, that does not necessarily mean that he's offensive to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take it as an offensive, but the Lord saw the tremendous love. In that love, he is to quarrel because Mahaprabhu is to follow a practice, observe very strict sannyasa dharma, and that is what, as being his great devotee, and the author Jagadananda Prabhu was greatly pained, and that's why he used to so much disagree. Plus, we also know Jagadananda Prabhu is actually an incarnation of one of the principal queens of Shri Krishna in Dwarka, Queen Satyabhama. And Satyabhama is a very fiery nature, So that kind of reflects in this lifetime also, And Krishna, just as he tolerated Satyabhama because of her great love for him, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also was appeasing to Jagadananda Prabhu because of his great love for the Lord. Okay, so Vivarta, even though he used to quarrel, it does not necessarily mean the reality of he was offending Mahaprabhu. So that is Vivarta. Okay, now here is Viparita Vivarta. Viparita is opposite of Vivarta. So it's a double negative. Vivarta itself is negative. What you see through your eyes may not reflect the reality. Now, what is the opposite of that? Does it mean that what you see is reality? No, not necessarily, but in a different sense, the double negative, it does not mean, so it's 180 of 180. It does not mean that when he quarrels, does it mean that he's offensive? No, not in that sense. For another sense that we will see, okay? So that is Viparita Vivarta, the opposite of opposite. So with that little introduction, let's begin. So here, this is what lesson 8, chapter 14, text 1 to 11, that is there. So Vivarta, Viparita Vivarta, or contradictory transformation, seeing Vrindavan by seeing Navadvipa. So that's what it is actually, in that sense. So basically what the author is trying to show us, that there is just as there is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Shri Krishna. Only difference is Lord Krishna came in the mood, very merciful mood of Srimati Radharani, okay? And he took the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Uh, so that's what you're going to see. So the contradictory transformation, what you see, just as I said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna are non-different. Same way, Krishna's Dhama, the abode, Vrindavan, is non-different from Sri Navadvipa Dhama. That's it follows exactly. So then, that sense, what we are seeing, Viparita, Vivarta, opposite of opposite, 180 of 180. So I want you to make clear in your mind, see it that way. Okay. So let's go through that. And as told you before also, um, um, generally, what I would give you an outline of the author, the whatever the pastimes, and then we'll actually read uh, in his own words the author what he says. Okay. Now author says in a very, very simple language, as if he's speaking directly to us, very simple, straightforward language. That's what I like about it. uh, uh, so I give you an overview, which I already did for this particular lesson at these particular pastimes. So let's go through that. So first, text 1, oh brother. So remember, whenever he says, oh brother, he's directly addressing to us directly. He says, I could not continue to Vrindavan, just as Nityaske Mataji just recapped what we covered in lesson 7, how Jagadananda Prabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan against the wish of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was worried that because his fiery nature, he might uh, uh, really offend the Brajbasis. Brajbasis would not understand him. So that was the reason he was reluctant. And he wanted to send him to Mayapur instead, actually. So even though he wanted to go to Vrindavan, he ended up in Mayapur. So in that context, we are going to be discussing this particular lesson. Okay, so that's what he says. I could not continue to Vrindavan. And remember, even when he was in Vrindavan, and how he offended Sri Sanatana Goswami, the confidential associate of Mahaprabhu, and he did not intend that, of course, but he just got fired up because he saw Sanatana Goswami was wearing a turban, a cloth on his head belonging to another sannyasi, which Jagadananda Prabhu could not tolerate. According to him, the only sannyasi is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was about to actually hit with the cooking pot, rice cooking pot, to Sanatana Goswami. But then Sanatana Goswami actually did deliberately, because he wanted to see Jagannath Prabhu in his devotion to Mahaprabhu. That's the reason why he did that, to provoke that. And he was very pleased to see that. And in a very humble mood, he apologized. So seeing his humility, Dainya Bhav, Jagannath Prabhu immediately cooled down and feeling very sorry. And he immediately knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, he must have seen all these things. And he felt very, very remorseful for that. So in that backdrop, we have to understand what he's writing now. Okay? So he said, I had not seen Gora's face, so I was meditating on his form. And remember, what does he meditate? Because Mahaprabhu is familiar figure, pose, because whenever Mahaprabhu used to chant, he would always chant without exception while dancing. And all his confidential companions would also dance with him in ecstatic joy. That is what he's recalling that thing. So he said, I had not seen Gora's face. And remember, today I'm going to show you what is exactly the meaning of Gora. Gora, actually, original meaning Gora means something very fair complexion. Okay, But here, some of the background that I also did not know. But while, as you know, I'm right now engaged in preparing PowerPoints for the subsequent course. That is Sri Jaiva Dharma, and I'm writing PowerPoints for that. So I read a lot of background, all that information, as I always do. Whenever I prepare my PowerPoints, I do a lot of extensive search in literature, everything, So I came across and I was doing these things. So there's where I found the Gora word. So, and I'll show you that in just a few moments. Okay. So here, so that's what he's recalling now. That I had not seen Gora's face, and so the word Gora has a particular significance. As you know, as I'm telling you again and again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but in the mood of Sri Radharani, Srimati Radharani. So here, Go actually is Govinda, that is Krishna, and Ra means Radha. So he is Govinda, but in Radha's mood and Radha's complexion. That is the meaning of Gora. I did not know about that till I did this background search in Shichaiva Dharma. And many such more examples I'll show you actually. Even the geography of Navadvipa Dhama, the 9 islands, and its significance to the particular these second pastimes we're talking about in the second part of this lesson. Okay. I lost the way and went in the wrong direction. He is thinking, okay, he is recalling how he missed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while he had been in Vrindavan, and that was not the wish, against the wish of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu actually wanted him to send to Mayapur. So actually he went to Mayapur later on, of course, So that's what his mental frame that we are going to see across this, what he writes. And that you must understand that. So he said that he was going through and he lost the way and went in the wrong direction. I turned back and slowly went on, continued on. When I came back, I saw I was in the same place. So he was going round and round, actually. He went to Vrindavan, but he actually ended up going to Mayapur. That's where Mahaprabhu actually wanted him to go with his confidential message to Mother Sachi. Yeah. So text 3. So in this way, for many days, I thought I would go to Vrindavan, but I did not know what I would become what would become of me. He ended up in Mayapur actually. So I passed days and nights sitting under a tree, and sometimes I slept heavily. So see, he's in his dream state also. He's describing all these things. So that's what he says. In a dream, I walked a long way. So what we are going to see, ultimate the essence of all this particular pastime that he is describing, Vivarta, Viparita Vivarta, his mind frame actually, ultimately he's going to show us that there is no difference between Vrindavan that he originally wanted to go and Mayapur. And that's what he realized. He actually saw it. That's what happened actually, So that is called Viparita Vivarta. That what you see is Navadvipa, okay? But it is exactly same as Vrindavan. There is no difference. That's what it is. So even though he's seeing Navadvipa, but Viparita of that is Vrindavan, there is no difference between two. So I did not know what would become of me. I passed days and nights sitting under trees, and sometimes I slept heavily, sleep, and that's why the dream state. In a dream, I walked a long way and arrived at the shore of the ocean, where I saw Gora's wonderful dancing. Gadadhar and the devotees joyfully danced with him, and they sang songs that were like showers of nectar. I, when they finished dancing and singing, Gora took my hand and said, now see, his mental frame is reflecting, because when he was in Vrindavan and he offended Sanatana Goswami and he knew Mahaprabhu would not approve of that, Mahaprabhu would be very displeased. Okay, that's what is going on in his mindset. That's what is described. That's what we see here. Okay, he's imagining that Mahaprabhu will be very must have been very angry with him, and so what is Mahaprabhu's what he was imagining? That's what he's writing now. So that in a dream state, he was a semi-dream state. Okay, reality reflecting in a twisted manner in a dream state. That's what we always do. We always, whenever we dream, sometimes reality and something imaginary things that's on our mind, it kept trembling back and forth. That's what is happening to him here. So he is imagining how Mahaprabhu was feeling very sorry and all these things. Okay. So when they finished dancing and singing, Gora took my hand and said, you left in anger. In that one, he left. Tell me what was my fault. So Mahaprabhu himself is telling him that what was the Lord's fault that he went against his wish and went there, and how Mahaprabhu himself must have been missing him. That's what we are seeing. So you left in anger. Tell me what was my fault. Mahaprabhu himself is saying, according to what he is imagining, okay, the author. Your heart is so fickle. Fickle means chanchala, fickering, changing all the time. You left me here and went to Vraja. Come, let me embarrass you. Let me embrace you. Embrace you and embarrass. There's a whole of a difference. Say embrace you. So Mahaprabhu, he is imagining. Mahaprabhu himself is want to see him. Okay. So Mahaprabhu said, let me embrace you and let me hold your chest to mine. Then my anxiety will go away. Cook at midday. Mahaprabhu liked his cooking very much, especially the spinach, a sabji of spinach. And give me some rice and spinach so that I'm sorry. So cook me some rice and spinach so that my hunger will also be relieved. And Mahaprabhu liked his cooking, especially when he's in an angry mood. To pacify him, Mahaprabhu used all these different kinds of trick, just as Krishna did, tricked Queen Satyabhama when she was in an angry mood, So he says, oh Jagadananda, after you left, I ate and slept for many days with an unhappy heart. So in his mindset, he's imagining how Mahaprabhu was missing him so badly. Why did you leave me? Why the author left Mahaprabhu? I slumped into the sadness. Jaga is always merciless in me. All this thing is mindset. Quickly see Vraja. So Mahaprabhu is telling him that now that you went against my wish there, just wrap up everything and come back quickly because I miss you very badly, according to the author's own mindset. And cook me some rice and spinach and vegetables. Then I will be able to live and you will be also be happy. Never leave me out of anger again. I suddenly awoke and saw what I was in that bank of the Ganges. Remember, actually he is in now Mayapur. So, that's why you see this Ganges. For away from the land of Vraja. So on one side of this mindset that he was in Vrindavan, but actually he is in Mayapur now, and he was feeling sorry that he went against Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was missing him. Just as he loved Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu loved him reciprocally. So now he realized he woke up from his dream state, and he finds himself in Mayapur. Okay, So see, he in a very peculiar, very interesting way, he's showing us that there is no difference between Mayapur and Vrindavan. Far away from the land of Raja, oh Navadvipa Dhama, the eternal abode of Shri Gaura's pastimes, the perfect essence of Raja. See that? Navadvipa is an essence of Raja. There is no difference. Overjoyed to be in Mayapur, so now he felt very good about it. I entered the inner apartment of the Lord's house. Now, this is again his childhood past. Remember, we are discussing before Mahaprabhu uh, uh, accept the sannyasa order and left for Jagannath Puri. This is way before when Mahaprabhu was still in Mayapur. Okay, so in Mother Sachi's home. Mother I actually means mother. In Maharashtrian also say mother, they say I, right? So here's Mother Sachi. I explained what Gauranga had told me, quickly came out and saw the divine opulence of Navadvipa. So the divinity of Navadvipa Dhama he's emphasizing. And is not different from Vrindavan Dham. I felt that I had already seen Vrindavan. So why should I now go to the faraway place anyway? Now he's repenting. Why? I don't need to go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is right there in Navadvipa Dhama. Instead, I will go to meet Gora because that's where he finds his beloved Gora, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So worshipable deity, the God, giving up all my sadness and leave behind the sorrow of separation. See that? So now you see Viparita Vivarta, opposite of opposite. That means he is seeing and showing us that there is no difference between Navadvipa Dhama and Vrindavan, just as there is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Krishna himself. Okay, so with that, we'll now go to the next pastimes. This is one of the morning pastimes, and that also happens to be in Mayapur. Okay, remember that. So before I discuss this thing, let me give you some background information, and that I took it from Sri Jaiva Dharma. Okay, and that was actually I did a lot of search in that. So first we should get the idea of what is this Navadvipa Dhama. Nava means 9, Dvipa means islands. So whole Mayapur Dhama is composed of these 9 islands. That is what geographically I'm showing it right here. I took it from the internet. See, Antardvipa Dham Mayapur is right in the center, and there are 9 islands that you see, and one particular significance to what the pastime that we are talking about, and the Jaiva Dharma that we'll be talking about is centered around this on the right hand portion, eastern side of the whole Navadvipa is called Godruma Dvipa, and I'll just show you what is the exact meaning of Godruma, because that's where the place where the whole Jaiva Dharma's story unfolds. And here also the pastimes we are going to be discussing is also right in Godruma Dvipa. So, and there is a special significance, meaning what Godruma means actually. Okay. So remember, this is a Godruma, okay. And this is on the eastern side of it. And there's a description, geographical description is right here. This Godruma Dvipa is one of the 9 islands of Navadvipa Dham, situated east of the Bhagirathi. Bhagirathi is one of the stream of Ganges, Mother Ganga, River Ganga, and Jalangi River. It's one of the side rivers. So this place is also so named because, so now the significance of what Godruma means. Go means cow, but this is not an ordinary mundane cow. This is the cow, divine cow, Surabhi river, Surabhi is of divine origin cow, worshipped cow herself, Surabhi river, worshipped Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here, under the shade of a banyan tree. So banyan tree in Sanskrit is called druma. You know, that's where go means cow, druma means banyan tree. So that is where Mahaprabhu enacted a lot of wonderful sweet pastimes. So see the significance of that. And this will again we'll see this slide in Sri Jaiva Dharma. Okay. So each of the 9 divisions of Navadvipa Dhama embodies, personifies one of the Navada Bhakti. This is what also I did not know before until I did this background research, and while I was doing Jaiva Dharma. Okay. So look at this, very interesting. Now 9 islands, each represents, this personifies the Navada Bhakti. And what is the beginning of Navada Bhakti? Hearing and chanting. Okay. So here also, this Godrama Dvipa, that is the representing, that is signifying, specifying, emphasizing the practice of hearing and chanting. That's exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's principal teaching, chanting and hearing the holy name, Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the one in Kalika we attain Shri Krishna. So Godruma Dvipa is also called Gadi Gacha. Gadi Gacha. That's the exact pastimes now we are going to, the author is going to describe. Okay. So in a apabhramsha, what is apabhramsha? In a kind of a distorted way, locally when they speak something, sometimes they pronounce it differently, represent it differently. Okay. So actually it is Godruma Dvipa, but there's they sometimes represent God as its Gadi Gacha. That is where the pastimes going to take place. We are going to discuss just now. It's a small area in it, okay? So and there is, in that small area, there's a little pond. I wouldn't call it a lake when it's described as a lake, but it's just a small pond, okay? And that's actually it's called Gora Rida. Gora Rida. But in these pastimes, it became as Gora Daha, because that's where we will hear, just as Krishna is to liberate. Remember that he liberated the 2 demigods, the Gandharvas, Manigriva and Nala Kuvera. They were in the form of these 2 trees. Okay, and they were cursed when they offended Narad Muni had cursed them to become, and Narad Muni also told them that you will be relieved, go back to becoming a demigod bodies. But when Krishna comes in at the end of Dwapara Yuga, so same here also, there's a crocodile in that pond who became a crocodile because of the curse, because that was a child demigod who offended Durvasa Muni, because this particular child demigod, by his negligence, because of childish nature, he cut the locks of hair from Durvasa Muni. Okay? So Durvasa Muni, out of great anger, caused him to become a crocodile. So when they really begged him for mercy, so then he declared that there will be Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come and liberate through the power of chanting the holy name. So that is the pastime he's going to describe, the author is going to describe. Okay. So Gora, again, see the Go means Govinda, Ra means Radha. They are combined in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The pond is called Gora Daha. That is where exactly, just as Kalia Daha, Kalia was subdued by Krishna. Here also same thing. This crocodile, fierce crocodile, the cows were reluctant to drink water from that particular lake, a particular pond. So he relieved that crocodile. So since then, Gora Rida is being called now as Gora Daha. Daha means Damana, rescued, liberated. Ever since Mahaprabhu liberated the child demigod in the body of a crocodile because of being cursed by Durvasa Muni. And that's where, so I'm giving you a backdrop of that story that the author is now going to describe. Okay. And the story is very simple, very straightforward. Again, I'm going to give you an overview of that story, and then we will actually hear in the author's own words. Okay. The story is like that. It's the morning pastimes Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu and all his associates, including the author, they were in this Gadigacha village, and there they come across where the um, coward people were living. Okay, and one of the coward named Bhima approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and explained to him that my mother, whose name is Shama, used to worship your mother, Mother Sachi, and by that relation, because Bhima's mother Shama used to consider Mother Sachi as his mother, like that. So and her son is of course God Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that would make Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the maternal uncle of Shama's son Bhima, the coward man. So he's inviting the Lord to please come and visit, and my mother will treat you so nicely with all the wonderful delights of a coward village, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes there, and that's where the coward people told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about this lake where there is a fierce crocodile is there, and their cows would not drink water from that. So that's where Mahaprabhu actually liberated by chanting the holy name. Okay, so I gave you the backdrop. Okay, insufficient enough details. Now we'll actually hear from the words of the author. So first, so this is chapter 15. Okay, there are 48 texts. Navadvipa Purvahana Leela, morning pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the morning, this whole thing took place. So these are the themes, sub themes of this chapter 15, 48 text. We will go in segments. So text 1 to 5, the remnant of Gauranga, Prasada. The Lord visits Gadigacha village. 9 to 11, service rendered there by coward man. And 12 to 16 is the coward named Bhima. I already gave you a brief introduction. And Gauranga goes to Bhima's house as invited by Bhima and eats sweet rice. The lake known as Gora Daha, actually it was Gora Rida, it became Gora Daha after Mahaprabhu liberated that crocodile. So crocodile in the lake, Mahaprabhu was told about that. The crocodile was actually a child godhead, child god. When he was liberated, he offers prayers to Mahaprabhu and tells him the story how he became crocodile. Just as Nalakura Manigruva said to Krishna after liberation. Previous history of child demigod in the body of a crocodile, he tells how he offended Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni cursed him. Then he begged for his mercy, and that when Durvasa Muni tells this demigod, who was a child actually, and that Mahaprabhu will come after 4 yugas. So 4 whole complete Chatur yuga, that crocodile remain, and that demigod, child demigod, remain in that body. Ailment of his original form returned to his own abode. So now Mahaprabhu liberated him. He regained his childhood demigod body and went back to the heavenly planets. The benefit of so now there is a Shruti Phala. After hearing these pastimes, how we get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So please remember that this is a Shruti Phala. So very, very wonderful pastimes. So now we'll go in the words of the author himself. Okay, so it'll be going to be a little bit more detail. So this is the story, morning pastimes in Shri Navadvipa Dhama. Okay, way before Mahaprabhu took sannyas order and went to Jagannath Puri, way before that. So text 1 to 5. Okay, let me expand that. Let me magnify instead of taking another slide. You see there? So first we'll go left portion of this first text, text 5, remnants of Gauranga, Mahaprabhu, and then 6 to 8, the Lord visit Gadigacha village. So first this 4 and then next 3. Okay. So text 1, I write whatever comes to my mind about Gauranga's pastimes whenever it does, even if it is out of sequence. That's the typical style of this author. Whatever comes to his mind, he writes, not necessarily in a particular chronological order. Okay, so he's describing that pastimes when Mahaprabhu was still in Mayapur. One day, Mother Sachi very affectionately gave me the plate of Gora's remnants. Remember, they were childhood friends. Okay, so Mother Sachi gave him the remnants of Mahaprabhu, which is, of course, now become a prasadam. And he says, I was delighted to receive Gauranga's prasada, and as I ate it, I felt as though I was tasting nectar. Very, very self-explanatory, and reflects the author's great affection for Mahaprabhu in a very, very reverential manner. Okay, don't forget, he's very friendly, very close. Okay, but at the same time, Mahaprabhu very reverentially he treats Mahaprabhu. Will I ever eat such delicious food again? Mother Sachi made wild spinach, banana flour. This is a typical Bengali delicacy. Okay, taro with balls of fried dal, ground taro, patol. Now, I'm not very familiar with this Bengali dish. My wife is from Bengal, of course. She was born and brought up in Calcutta, and she makes some of these preparations, and I love that. Very, very delicious. So Mother Sachi gave the remnant after Mahaprabhu had taken that, So now that become prasada, and he really rejoices that having that prasadam. Joyful after eating, I walked like a swan in the company of Nitai, Gauranga, and their associates, walking along the banks of the Ganga and chanting the holy name. We arrived in the village of Gadigacha. So Mahaprabhu and all his associates, including the author, chanting the holy name in great joyful way, they now approach this particular village, Gadigacha. There's a small area in Godruma. That's where this is taking place. Okay. So Govinda, text 7, Govinda Ghosha played Mridanga. So all these are associates of Mahaprabhu, very, very confidential associates. Vasudeva Ghosh chanted the name. I'm sure Sarath Prabhu is going to give us some background story of this, these associates. And that is there actually when I did my background search for Jaiva Dharma. It's all there in that book also. And Gadadhar and Vrikeshwara dance. They're all childhood friends. Hearing the sound of Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, and cheering all directions, everyone became mad with love for Gora. I do not know how to dance. I do not know how to dance or sing. Still, I dance with my arms upraised. This is a typical Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the way he dances. Okay, and those who do not know how to dance or even not in the mood of, Mahaprabhu enters their body and makes them dance like that. That's what author is saying that. Of course, he's a very in a humble mood. He's telling us, of course. So I did not know. So he danced. So now this is the next slide, text 9 through 16. Again, I will expand. I will so text 9, we came to the village of Gadigacha and entered it. So now he's telling the story how Mahaprabhu and all his confidential associates were ended up in their village, and then within that village, this Bhima, coward man, approaches the Lord and tells and invites him very in affectionate mood. Please visit my village. My mother Shyama will treat you so nicely. And my mother used to know your mother, and that way Mahaprabhu is like a brother to his mother. That means to Bhima, Mahaprabhu is like a maternal uncle, mama. And Gora said, devotees, listen today. We will walk around the bank of this lake, and then we will rest under this tree. So they happen to arrive at that particular pond. It's not a huge lake, it's a small pond, Gora Rida. And after this pastime took place, it became Gora Daha. So there are happy cows under this banyan tree. Let us go and play with the coward boys. So that's where the place situation takes place. Okay? And that's where this Bhima approaches him. Many coward boys then came over and offered us yogurt, curd, and butter, and our tiredness from walking was gone. So all this walking that became tired, immediately gone. Pradyumna is one of the associate. Actually, this Pradyumna personality used to be very fond of Lord Nrsimhadeva. He was a great devotee of Nrsimhadeva, And this Mahaprabhu used to also call him Nrsimhananda. And joyfully came over with Nrsimha. So this is another word, Nrsimhananda, that I was telling you about. And Purushottama Acharya joined us there. Hearing the sound of the mridanga, everyone left their homes and came over. And the sound of Hari, 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 Lord Hari, like that, echoed all around. A very cordial coward boy named Bhima came forward and said, my dear sir, he's addressing Mahaprabhu. Please listen. My mother, Shyama, is a pious milkmaid and a daughter of a virtuous milkman from Ganga Nagar. It's a small village. She calls Sachi means my mother calls your mother as Sachi and always serves her. So you are my uncle. That makes you my maternal uncle, my mama. Dear uncle, let's go to my house. It's a very affectionate way he approaches Mahaprabhu, and Lord reciprocates in that same affection, and he visits there. Come with your party and happily chant the name of Shri Krishna. I will feed you all the yogurt and milk my mother has in store and massage your feet. I will serve you, and please let me give an opportunity to massage your lotus feet. So now continuing, I'm sorry. Pardon me for this back and forth. So now I just did that. Now next slide. So before we go to the continuing, let's take a short break. I think it's time. We take a short break so they can refresh up, and then we'll actually hear these particular pastimes that the author is describing unfolding right there. Okay, and so that's the backdrop of the story that we are going to hear, how this crocodile is going to be liberated from his crocodile body and regain back to his child demigod body. Okay. Hare Krishna.
હરે કૃષ્ણ પ્રભુજી, દંડવત પ્રણામ.
ધન્યવાદ પ્રણામ માતાજી.
પ્રભુજી, નદિયા ગોધરૂમેનું એક બહુ નાનકડું સોંગ બહુ સરસ છે. આજે આ ટોપિક આવ્યું છે તો મે આઈ સિંગ નદિયા ગોધરૂમે.
5 મિનિટમાં થઈ જશે ને?
હા હા, 5 જ લાઈનનું છે, બહુ જ નાનું છે.
ઓકે, પ્લીઝ ગો હેડ.
હા હા, કારણ કે આજે નદિયા ગોધરૂમાં આવ્યું છે એના વિશે અમે સમજ્યા પણ છે તો બહુ સરસ છે આ
Oh,
song.
sure. Wonderful.
ઓકે. નદિયા ગોધરૂમે નિત્યાનંદ મહાજન, પાતિયા છે નામ હટ જીવેર કારણ. નદિયા ગોધરૂમે નિત્યાનંદ મહાજન, પાતિયા છે નામ હટ જીવેર કારણ. श्रद्धावान जन है, श्रद्धावान जन है, श्रद्धावान जन है, श्रद्धावान जन है. प्रभु आज्ञाए भाई मागिए भिक्षा, बोलो कृष्ण भजो कृष्ण करो कृष्ण शिक्षा. अपराध शून्य हो लहो कृष्ण नाम, कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण. कृष्ण रे संसार करी छाड़ी अनाचार, जीवे दया कृष्ण नाम सर्व धर्म सार. जीवे दया कृष्ण नाम सर्व धर्म सार. नदिया गोधरूमे नित्यानंद महाजन, पातिया छे नाम हट जीवेर कारण. श्रद्धावान जन है, श्रद्धावान जन है, श्रद्धावान जन है, श्रद्धावान जन है. नदिया गोधरूमे नित्यानंद महाजन, पातिया छे नाम हट जीवेर कारण. पातिया छे नाम हट जीवेर कारण. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हो, नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय हो, पंचतत्व की जय हो. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, थैंक यू सो मच.
Wonderful Rakshamata Yadav. Short and sweet. Beautiful Yadav. Thank you. Just about 1 minute. Okay. So this pastime continues. Now we'll be hearing from text 17 through 26 of their total of 48 texts. And this is again morning pastimes in Sri Navadvipa Dhama. So Mahaprabhu and all his associates, they ended up in this particular village, Gadigacha, and there they meet this coward boy, Bhima, who invites the Lord and his associates and do the chanting of the holy name, singing and dancing, come to his village and his hometown, where his mother, Shama, a gopi, who is going to treat the Lord in a very nice way, actually, And this Shama is to know Mother Sachi very well. Okay, so again, I will expand. I will enlarge so that we can. So first 17 to text 20 is Goranga is visiting Bhima's house now. This coward boy, and there he's being treated nicely with condensed milk. And then text 21 to 22, that's where Mahaprabhu was told about this particular pond, Gorarida, then later on become Gorada. That's where this crocodile story that we will hear. Okay, so that as Goradaha, this pond will become, and the crocodile in the lake, Mahaprabhu is going to liberate him by chanting the holy name. Okay, and the crocodile was actually turned out to be a demigod who later offers prayers and tells the actual story how he ended up as being a crocodile. Okay. So when Bhima became insistent, so he really very begged the Lord, please do come and visit our home, and requested this of everyone. Gora, of course, then reciprocated, went to his home out of great love for the coward boys. Text 18, the milkmaid Shama, that's the mother of Bhima, cheered and seated everyone in her cow shed. Nice way she invited and she received the Lord with great love. Shama says, learned elder brother, because she considered him as his, because she knew she treated Mother Sachi as his mother, as her mother, So how is mother? So she's first in Gora replied, she's very well, she's well, and began to dance. Shama laid out banana leaves. That's where typically in Bengal we are served not in a plate, but in a leaf of this banana leaves. In many you might have seen that. And served yogurt and condensed milk. And Mahaprabhu, as Nimai, at that time it's called Nimai Pandita. Nimai and the devotees respectfully sat down to eat. After everyone finished eating, they strolled over the edge of the lake, a little pond, Gorarda, chanting the glories of the Lord. And then a coward boy named Ramadas came over, and now he disclosing that our cows don't drink water from this pond because there is a fierce crocodile. Our cows do not drink water from this lake. Why? A fierce crocodile comes out of this lake, and our cows moo because they cannot drink the water. Just as Kalia Damana, right? Kalia story. In that lake, cows would not drink poisonous. The vapor is to kill the birds flying up in the sky, and how then Krishna jumped in the lake and subdued this Kalia, persuaded him to leave that lake. Same kind of story, in the same format, we'll hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he liberated this crocodile. So when Gora heard this, he chanted the holy name. So he is Krishna. But see, he never disclosed he is Krishna except with very few of his confident associates. He always, because he came as his own devotee, So as a devotee, when we get into trouble, we chant Hare Krishna, right? Mahaprabhu also did the same thing. But he has the power because he is Krishna himself. So he chanted the holy name, and the crocodile immediately became attracted to the chanting of the holy name. The crocodile quickly got out of the lake water and came over to Gora's feet. Upon touching them, the crocodile immediately turned into child god. He regained his original body. So, crying, the child god prayed to the Lord. He offered his prayers. He recounted how he became a crocodile, in a very, very sorrowful way, wept. So now, this text 27 to 32 of the 48 text, what we are going to hear, the previous history of how this child demigod ended up as a crocodile because of being cursed by Durvasa Muni and how he offended the sage. The text 27, the child god said, "O Lord, cursed by Durvasa Muni, I have been wandering in the form of a crocodile, making everyone tremble, just like that Kalia snake, serpent, because its poison, the cows would not be able to drink milk, and drink water. So same here. Once when the great sage was resting in Kamya Vana, the Kamya forest, the sage is actually Durvasa Muni. I mischievously cut off his dead dreadlocks, locks of hair from his jata. The sage angrily said, "Take the form of a crocodile and suffer the results of your actions for 4 ages." So whole Chatur Yuga, and this child will suffer and remain in the body of a crocodile. The text 30, I cried and prayed to the sage. He really humbly prayed, the Lord, please forgive me. I did it because of my childish nature. So Lord Durvasa Muni, of course, his heart melted and tells him graciously, called him over and spoke to me. O child God, the sage is addressing him. When the son of Sridanda, Krishna, becomes the life and wealth of Sachi Navadvipa, when Krishna comes in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will be freed from my curse by his chanting the holy name. And you will get a heavenly body again, return to the abode of gods. See now, with the beauty part of it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Krishna himself, okay? And he's chanting the holy name. So holy name is not different from Krishna, you see, because he does not want to disclose that he's Krishna himself. So he's chanting the holy name, right? But holy name is Krishna, and he, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is Krishna himself. The same potency, in fact, much more deeper potency than Krishna himself is in his holy name. And that's how the crocodile regained his child body of demigod. So this is what the gist of text 27 to 32. Now we'll hear text 33 to 42. Here again, text 33, glory to the son of Sachi. So now we are hearing directly in his own words, the author Jagadananda. Okay, and very straightforward. Glory. So now this liberated crocodile, regaining his child demigod body, is offering prayers and is going to disclose how it happened. The savior of the fallen, the supreme soul, the shelter of the humble, lowly, and one devoid of shelter. See that? Wonderful. This is really a very nice way he's opening up his prayers. Glory to the son of Sachi, the savior of the fallen. See, that is what Mahaprabhu is there. Patita Pavana, he, particularly the fallen souls, he came to liberate by the giving the powerful mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So he's very, very merciful, humble, lowly, great humility when we offer prayers. Mahaprabhu Krishna himself comes, and when we chant Hare Krishna. And those who are anatha, do not have any shelter, particularly fallen souls like us, Mahaprabhu comes. So it's a wonderful, wonderful way of addressing. Your glories resound throughout the 14 worlds, and you have saved a soul as fallen as myself. The very, very daily bhava, extreme humility, uh, he's offering prayer, just like the crocodile in the other Krishna pastimes, not Krishna pastime, previous pastimes, in previous incarnations, how Lord saved that particular crocodile in the grass, not crocodile actually, the gaja, the elephant, how elephant was uh, grasped by a crocodile and pulling him in the ocean, and then this elephant prays to the Lord, and Lord came and immediately relieved him from the mouth of the crocodile, And the crocodile, when he was cut, a crocodile also happened to be a demon, and then he was relieved too. So both the elephant was saved and the crocodile was liberated in that time. Here it is different, but the theme is same. You have extended here in the Navadvipa Dhama, the best of all abodes, as the savior for the age of Kali, especially in Kali Yuga. That is the Mahaprabhu's special mercy, merciful, because Krishna came in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and Radha is more powerful than Krishna himself. Because Krishna himself came to Radha. Whatever Radha says, he will have to do it. And Radha will specially recommend the fallen souls like us suffering an extreme pain in this Kali Yuga. This is how she pursued Krishna to come and help us. The Mahaprabhu is that person. To deliver the souls of Kali Yuga by giving the holy name of the Lord. You have come, O Mahaprabhu, I bow down to you. I have spent 4 ages. I have spent long time. Whole Chatur Yuga I have spent, in the form of this crocodile. Oh Lord, please, O Savior of the fallen, now you have come and delivered me. From your mouth, from your lotus mouth, the name of the Lord is extremely sweet, and you have delivered innumerable souls, both moving and inert. Please give me permission, and I will return to the abode of the gods, my own abode. And seeing my mother and father there, I'll be completely happy. The great souls who hear these pastimes now should be followed. Now hearing that, and how we get benefited, we get benedicted. The great souls who hear this pastime, great souls. You had to be really fortunate enough to hear this passage. Realize your great fortune. You are now able to hear these pastimes, and that's how you're going to be benefited. Mahaprabhu became free from Brahmana's curse. Seeing that it was midday, all the devotees went back to Mayapur with the Lord. Having said this, the child cart board and left in the sound of Kirtana again. Everybody again reverted back to the ending of the holy name. Because they're so upfront by themselves the great potency of the chanting of the holy name. Now, 40 to 48. Then used to be called Purada. Now it's called Puradaha after the daman of this crocodile. Since then, the lake has become wide known as Goradaha, Kulyadaha, Kaliyadaha, Raja. All the Vedas say that sins are removed and devotion to Krishna is attained by seeing or touching this lake. So whenever you visit, I certainly will go and visit. I hope to come and visit India, probably, hopefully, in January, February next year. I'll be going to Mayapur, and I'll sure pray that I get darshana of this particular lake. Our boys saw these pastimes here, and with the joy of intense divine love, they call Gauranga uncle. See, they call mama. The old village called Muki, Shyama, um, prayed and worshipped Mother Sakshi as her mother. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is son, Mother Sachi. So through Shyama, uh, uh, like brother, right? And to all the cowards, become Mama. They something called and on their shoulders. They carried the Lord on their shoulders. Everyone saw the Lord's morning pastimes, and within them they saw the study of Lord Balaram and Krishna's pastimes together. Text 4. They actually saw Govardhan and Krishna's covered pastimes. So now the author is saying that exactly what he was telling you before, right? No difference. So this is Vivarta Viparita. Viparita Vivarta. Exactly what we see here, even though it is Navatripa Dhama, but you see the glimpse of Vrindavan, they are not different. In the bank of Manasa Ganga, the coward boys understood that the pastimes of Nimai are the pastimes of their Lord Krishna and Sarvashri Nandana Krishna. It's same as Sachinandana to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. So I finished 30 minutes in time. This is a lot of time for discussion, and I'm sure please come up with some very probing questions that last livelier, and we'll learn much more in the discussion. And whatever we get confused, by the mercy of the Sharad Prabhuji, our own will enlighten us, will help us understand better something that I might have missed it. Hare Krishna. Okay, this is open for discussion. I'm trying to stop share. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Haribol, why are everybody silent? Quiet. Oh, you're thinking.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Raksha Mataji.
We are
Yes.
absorbed in the pastime, Prabhuji. We are in that pastime. That's why we are silent.
Yes, that is what I
meditated.
was. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We're all relishing the pastimes and into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chandra. Really great class. Great class. Thank you.
It's a great similarity to that Kaliya Damana, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So, any particular points that you want to make?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Samata Mataji, yes, good to hear from you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, when Mahaprabhu said to Jagdanand Pandit Maharaj that, you go to Mayapur instead, don't go to Vrindavan. So he was little upset, and then probably it is also advice to the neophytes devotees, because always they tell us first you worship Gaur Nitai instead of worshipping Radha Krishna. So, and also the teachers are more, the guru is very worried about the disciple being committing aparadhas. Because when we go to these places, very powerful places, in our like Nadani mein, we can, think something wrong and commit an aparadha.
We might commit offenses in Vrindavan Dhama, so it's better we go to, Navadvip Dhama, approach Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we will be able to better appreciate and understand Vrindavan Dham, afterwards we can go in there, That's what I understand here.
Yes, Prabhuji. And one more point that I wanted to share. Once, like I have been to Mayapur only once, but in our group, our head, Prabhuji, who was guiding us throughout, he said that in Mayapur, Mahaprabhu is so merciful that even if you are sleeping, it is like you are performing Dandvat Pranam. So he is so merciful.
Yes.
So we cannot imagine the mercy of Mahaprabhu in Mayapur.
And understand why is more merciful? Because that is Sri Radha herself. Krishna in the mood of Sri Radha. Radha is more merciful than Krishna, Krishna, he goes by book. According to our qualification, he reciprocates. But Srimati Radharani does not see. In fact, she particularly, those of us who are suffering, fallen, we are not qualified for Krishna. And yet by her mercy, she allows us, through her mercy, the mercy of Krishna. She recommends us to Krishna that here is the devotee. You should really give a second look. This is how Srila Prabhupada explained to us,
Yes, Prabhuji, it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare
Prasad
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Haribol. Oh, who is that?
Yeah, Nitya Sakhi Mataji, Prabhuji.
Oh, Nitya Sakhi Mataji. Please, go ahead.
Prabhuji, 2-3 lectures I heard about Jagdanand Prabhu's lectures from our Shiksha Guru. And as Lord used to call Jagdanand Prabhu a Jaga Jaga, no? And he used to scold him. And because of that, I said like Jagai Prabhu. So actually it is Jagdanand Prabhu.
No, it's okay. Because why he called Jagai himself? Because Jagai Madhai, remember, they were offensive to Lord Nityananda and Mahaprabhu was about to kill them. So he considered himself that fallen like Jagai, And his name is Jagadananda, but it rhymes with Jagai,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Nitya Sakhi Mataji. Yes. Prasad Prabhu, your turn
Hare
now.
Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Such a wonderful pastime, Prabhu. Actually, I'm in office, so I was just listening. And then,
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, Prabhu. So such a wonderful pastime, Prabhu. It's really, really great to hear. And also, I think first time I'm hearing this kind of correlation between the Leelas, okay, which is happened in Krishna and as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First time I'm hearing. Okay, it's the correlation between the Leelas.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Wonderful.
Yeah, I also learned quite a bit when I had to do some background research, especially while I was doing Jaiva Dharma PowerPoints. That's how I found out about all these lot of things, background. Thank you. And hopefully we'll learn some more from Sharad Prabhuji, as he always does.
We are so fortunate to be born in this country, Prabhu. So where we can go to Navadip Dham so easily.
Yes, incredible.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyone else? Please feel free. Rest of you, please open up. Ramya. Hello. I used to call Ramya Mataji, but now I told her that she's like my daughter's age, so I'll treat you as my daughter. Ramya, are you able to listen to me? Hear me? My voice? Okay, she must be engaged in something else. Anyone else? Hare Krishna. While you're thinking, you may ask, but in the meantime, I'm going to invite Sharad Prabhuji to share some more delights. Sharad Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Regarding so many devotees, they were referred in this lecture. I'll just tell an incident or the Leela in which is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then, if time is there, then the Ashtakarya Leela of Mahaprabhu, but that is little longer. Let me see. Now, as you know, Mahaprabhu used to come to, he was in Puri, and every year from Kulina Grama, the devotees used to come, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he divided them into 7 parties, and they used to follow the Ratha Yatra, some in the front, some in the back, some on the sides like this. There were total of 7 groups, and it is very, very interesting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he did in the beginning, he ordered Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, and Bakreswara Pandita to dance in each of these 4 respective parties. 4, what had happened, 2 on each side, 2 in front, total 6, and 1 in the back, total there were 7 parties. Now, Swarupa Damodara was chosen as the leader of the first party, and he was given 5 assistants to respond to his chanting. And the 5 who responded to the singing of Swarupa Damodara Goswami, they were Damodar Pandita, Narayana, Govinda Datta, Raghav Pandita, and Govindananda. Now, Advaita Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, he was ordered to dance in the first group, and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then formed another group with Srivas Thakur as the chief person, chief devotee. And the 5 singers who responded to singing were Srivas Thakur, were Gangadasa, Haridasa, Subhananda, Ram Pandita, and Nityananda Prabhu was appointed as the chief dancer in that group. Then another group was formed consisting of Vasudeva, Gopinath, Murari, and all these were responsive singers, and Mukunda was the chief singer. And then another 2 persons, Srikanta and Ballabhasena, they also became the responsive singers. And in this group, Haridas Thakur, he was the chief dancer. Then the Lord then formed another group, and he appointed Govinda Ghosa as the leader. And in this group, the junior Haridasa, then Vishnudasa and Raghava, they were the responding singers. And then the brothers, whose names were Madhava Ghosa and Vasudeva Ghosa, they also joined the groups as responsive singers, and Bakreswar Pandita was the dancer. And there was a Sankirtana party from the village of Kulina Grama, and Ramananda Rai and Satyaraj Khan, they were appointed as dancers in that group. And there was another party that came from Santipura, and this was formed by Advaita Acharya. Achyutananda was the dancer, and the rest of the men were singers. Then another party was formed from the people who came from Khandagram. Then these people were singing in different place, and in that group, Narahari Prabhu and Raghunandan Thakur, they were dancing. Then the 4 parties, they chanted and danced in front of Lord Jagannatha, and on either side there are parties, yet another was at the rear, and there were altogether 7 parties of Sankirtana, and in each party 2 men were beating drums, and thus there were 14 drummers, 14 drums being played at one time, and the sound was vibrating everywhere. And all the Vaishnavas, they came together like an assembly of clouds, and the devotees, they chanted the holy name, and the tears flowed from their eyes, and the Sankirtana, it resounded, and it filled the 3 walls, and everybody enjoyed that ecstatic atmosphere. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wandered through all the 7 groups chanting the holy name. raising his arms and shouted, all glories to Jagannath. And the beauty was that he was present in all the seven, and nobody missed him from any of these groups. So that's how in Jagannath Puri, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, they enjoyed the dancing, and all these devotees, they were there, and they were very, very close devotees. And regarding each devotee, I will tell you sometime later, they were very, very close to Lord Krishna in Krishna's pastimes 5,000 years back. Like we spoke of Bakreswar Pandita. Bakreswar Pandita was none other than Aniruddha of the Chaturviha. Like this, all were very, very important personalities, and they were very, very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then let me say something about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Ashtakaliya Lila. If I am not able to complete in these say 10-15 minutes, then I will cover the balance tomorrow morning. This is Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Nitya Navadvipa Leela, which is happening every day. And today in the class also, you heard about the Aishwarya Navadvip. Just listen to what it says. It first describes the last part of the night, that is from 3:36 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the morning. This is known as Nisanta Leela, early morning. Now, in the very beginning, it describes the beauty of Lord Gauranga when he is sleeping in his chamber, and how in the luxurious environment, how the Lord is resting, that is given. He is resting under a golden canopy bed, which is inlaid with solid coral, and it is decorated with white pillows and covered with pure silk, and long strands of very tiny and elegant pearls, they hang from the canopy above the bed. And Lord Gauranga's limbs, they are also described like this. They say the limbs put to shame the luster of molten gold, and his curly locks of hair, they hang in bunches, and his pearl necklace, it lies tangled in his jasmine garland. And then Lord Gauranga's lotus eyes are closed, and his thick black eyelashes are totally motionless. Gauranga's lips are wrapped in very fine white dhoti, and the nicely constructed temple in Mahaprabhu's compound is pervaded with happiness. Now then what happens during this time, Lord Gauranga, he awakes from his sleep, and due to fatigue from various kirtana the night before in Srivasangana's Srivas Pandita's house, Lord Gaurachandra, he sleeps peacefully in his bed, and nearby a parrot in a golden cage, seeing that night is coming to an end, he says, Gauraraya, please arise. And his sleep is broken, and Lord Gauranga then opens his lotus eyes slightly. Then Lord Gauranga, he pretends to sleep while meditating on the pastime of Radha and Krishna. Radha Madhavas walking in their Nikunja, that is the Nikunja Leela at the end of the night. Then in another room, Srimati Vishnupriya Devi, his wife, quickly rises upon seeing the sunrise and feeling drowsy. She walks slowly to Mother Sachi's room to receive her order to take bath in the Ganges. And Mother Sachi enters Gaura's sleeping chamber, and touching Gauranga's divine form with her motherly, tender motherly affection, Sachi Mata says in a sweet voice that my son Gaurachandra, please arise, it is morning. and the people of Navadipa, and they are anxiously waiting for you. And then thereafter, Gauranga, he wakes up and he begins his day. What he does in the morning, first thing, he stretches his body and sits up in the bed. And Sachimata notices the bruises that were incurred from his rolling on the ground in the ecstatic Sankirtana last night. And thus she exclaims that, what is this? Oh Nimai, what happened to you? Sachimata affectionately caresses the Lord's body again and again. Then Sita Thakurani, wife of Advaita Acharya, Malini Devi, wife of Srivas Pandita, and other wives of the devotees, they enter to receive Gauranga's most auspicious darsana early in the morning. And Malini Devi, in her heart overflowing with love, offers arati to Gauranga. Then the male servants of Gauranga, they attentively assist Gaurahari in many pitchers of water which has been brought from the Ganges. And then Gaurahari's dear devotees like Mukunda, Murari, Haridas, Bakreswara, Suklambara, Sridhara, and others, they arrive to offer their respects to the Lord. And Prabhu Nityananda, he also sits on Gauranga's right and Gadadhara on his left, and Advaita Acharya sits opposite to Gauranga, and then the other devotees around the Lord. I think the time is not permitting me to describe many more things. The balance of the things I'll describe, starting with the beauty of Vishnupriya Devi when she has got up from the bed and she is going to take bath in Ganges. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, part of it I have finished. I'll keep on continuing in the next session.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, I dozed off last couple minutes. Sorry, Prabhuji. I stayed up to last night very late, you know. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Prabhupada. So, anybody else has any burning questions? Anyone? We still have some time, I hope. If not, then I'm going to request Saga Prabhu is probably not here. I think he's in office maybe. Raksha Mataji, would you do the Nashima prayer, please?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you.
If Samta Mataji wants to do, then please Samta Mataji, you can also do.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Shri Guru. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladalaladaladevi. Praladalaladaladevi. Hiranyakashipurvaksha. Hiranyakashipurvaksha. Shilatankanakhala. Shilatankanakhala. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimha Madin Sharanam Prapate. Narasimha Madin Sharanam Prapate. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Dhanwad Pranam to
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Samata Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your presence, patience, and time. So we look forward to see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Govinda. Hey, Shri Om. All glories to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana. All glories to all the Vaishnavas. All glories to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So I look forward to see you tomorrow morning. We'll continue with lesson 9. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanwad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Bye,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Dhanwad Pranam. Sarat
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
thank you.
Prabhuji.
Dhanwad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Thank you.